Garage Door today at 844 PDS Door. Or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, a decrease in the clouds. An overnight low will drop down low to mid-60s. Plenty of sunshine Friday, a high low to mid-80s. On Saturday, we're right back to sunshine. High temperatures on Saturday in the mid-80s. And we may dodge some showers and thunderstorms Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 41 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, happy Friday. I'm a little more fired up than usual for a Friday, and I got 3 days off coming up really soon. Fired up about that. As long as we get on the plane today, as long as this internet outage, which has been the word is snarl when it comes to travel. Let's just get out of here. Once the show is concluded, everything will be nice and in working order. So let's get halftime going here on a Friday at 1 minute after 11 o'clock on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson. Matt Jones is there in studio. C. Brooks, C. Movie, C. Berger. Christian Johnston is back in the producer's chair. And nice to see you guys today. Media days are over. NFL training camps are beginning to open. This is starting to feel like football season. Is it? Does it feel like football season yet, or do you need to get the guys on the field sooner?
Happy Friday. No question about it. I think so. Getting a little hope, feeling good. It was good to have all three of those guys we got yesterday on, and
The hope runs thick today now.
Are you not? Are you not a little excited, like ready to go, ready for camp? And what they say, they're starting camp on the 31st, so it's going to be here. I wonder how they do camp anymore, Phil. You know, used to you'd go camp for a full 3 weeks, almost a full month. I wonder how they, you know, with the rules. I don't think you can do back-to-back 2-a-days anymore.
No, they'll usually send a schedule out of what, you know, the days that they'll practice and the time of day that they'll practice and when the days off are, when the scrimmages are, and whenever we get a chance to talk with Sam Pittman and the coordinators and the players. And I guess that should come out really over the next week if camp starts on July 31st. And so I guess we'll find out sometime next week. Whether I'm in New York City or Cooperstown at that time, I'm not quite sure. But it'll be the last vacation. This will be the last trip of the summertime, at least for us, before we really can. You know, once we get back from the trip, it's like less than 2 weeks from school starting again. So summer's gone like before you know it. We're within a month. We are within a month from school starting across the state.
As soon as those Olympics get here too, it'll go by like that.
When is that? Is that next week too?
The 14th. Well, I have to look it up.
I saw a really interesting list, speaking of the Olympics, that the NCAA had put out a list of member institutions and the number of athletes that they are sending to the Olympics. And it doesn't matter what, you know, country you represent. Arkansas will have the 10th most representatives at the 2024 Olympics. 23 Razorback athletes. And I would assume that means current athletes. Stanford, you always talk about Stanford when it comes to the Olympic sports. Arkansas is doing really well with 23. UCLA is one ahead of Arkansas at 24. Tennessee at 27. LSU is 28 athletes. Texas 30. Southern California is second overall with 44. Stanford has 51 athletes at the Olympics in 2024. Yeah, and that's an athletic department that has kind of openly just not really dealt with NIL very much at all. I would assume that at least some of the sports that we're talking about for Olympics, you know, minimal NIL, if much at all.
Well, that was kind of the end of David Shaw, huh? When the transfer portal. You know, Stanford's a different university. They do have a lot more Olympic sports. And you know, it's harder to get into that school. So you would imagine. I don't think a lot of when I was coming out, they were recruiting me, and they're like, you got to score at least a 28 on your ACT. I don't even know if they do the ACT stuff anymore, but it's not, you know, to get into all these other institutions, you got to score a 17, you know, so it's a little different to get into.
Be a little brighter than most and then actually demonstrate it. You are a little brighter than most, Matt. That's true, though.
I like it when you lie to me. It is Friday, so it's all right.
I went against telling you you're pretty any longer, but no, maybe I'll have to stop telling you that you're intelligent too. Halftime on this Friday. Yesterday was just a wild day. We had 3 interviews, and one of them wasn't even really an interview. And I don't even like the term interview when it comes to it. It's more conversations. We had Landon Jackson, we had Taylor Green, we had Andrew Armstrong. And the Taylor Green, the Green Armstrong dynamic, I hope that plays out on the field the way that it came over the airwaves with us. And I saw some other clips on social media, the two of them playing video games together and kind of going at each other about bowling. It wasn't just on our airwaves, but it seemed pretty natural. I just, you know, if it's obviously a personal chemistry, Matt. It's just you hope that personal chemistry translates to wide receiver quarterback chemistry, which, I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. The way that they get along, I can imagine by now they've had their share of you run this route, I'm going to put it right here over your shoulder, and get to know each other in that sense as well.
You know, every quarterback I tell you, you want at least one receiver that if you see him in man coverage, and you know, I don't know how all the plays come in, and a lot of times there's things that are mirrored. There's a lot of options. You know, because you call a play and it has a sister play. But if you have Armstrong out there and it's man coverage, I mean, I like that matchup all day. I think Armstrong's the guy that, I know he's 24, he's a little older, But he's a guy that's going to get a look, Phil. He'll get a look. He'll be in a camp next year. I don't know if it'll be a practice squad or whatever, but he at least has that talent to give himself a shot.
I did not realize until he had said it yesterday that he's 24 years old. So, he wouldn't be one of the guys that sooner or later, I'm assuming you get a chance to hear from Monty Harrison over camp, the 28-year-old wide receiver. And I was just guessing that a nickname will be Gramps. I mean, I've seen this even with Arkansas baseball players. What was Jared Wagner's nickname the team gave him a couple years ago? It was either Dad or it was Grandpa or something like that. You can't help but go in that direction when you're dealing with somebody that is that much older than everybody else on the team. But 4 years difference. I don't think Armstrong will be calling Harrison Gramps anytime soon. So, yes, media days are over. Everything is up on hitthatline.com and our various podcasts that have come out over the last few days. And with training camps opening, it definitely does feel like, I wouldn't say football season has started, but it is right around the corner. And also second half of the Major League Baseball season getting underway. Second day of the Open Championship underway. I heard the guys this morning on Greeny just sort of lamenting watching Tiger Woods, who I think the last time I'd heard was 15 over par and had an 8 over par yesterday, and it's just kind of getting worse today. It's difficult to watch, but I thought they made a salient point too. I mean, Colin Montgomery the other day was, just basically saying he thinks that Tiger should retire. Tiger had a perfect comeback by saying that he's exempt until he's 60, and Montgomery wouldn't know anything about that because he's not a champion of that level. But I mean, you can't necessarily like say, hey, it's not fun watching you golf like this anymore when you are a guy who has literally carried the industry on your shoulders for almost 3 full decades. He's got to be able to go out on his own terms. But I would imagine if he's paying attention to the way he's playing I was going to say this weekend, he's not even going to make it to the weekend again. Man, either resting for a full year or 2 years and then see if you can come back or just hang it up for right now. That's got to be tough to watch.
Current cut is +5. See, Maverick, maybe the Mavs can get Tiger to play shooting guard and he can back up Klay Thompson.
What do you think about Russ Westbrook going to Denver? I don't know if the trade has been finalized yet, but with Utah as a go-between, looks like Russell Westbrook will be joining the team that wasn't able to defend the championship. Gets over there with Jokic.
These kids, they're competitors. I say kids. I mean, he's a full-grown man. He's been in the league over a decade. He's a borderline. I don't think Westbrook's a Hall of Famer, but he's close. It's I just don't understand it. Like he's not going to play much. He can't shoot. I mean, you talk about what does he do now that he's lost? When you're an undersized guard at that level, you have to be elite at something. He's not elite at anything anymore. He was an elite athlete. He was 100% an elite athlete. He's just not. It's kind of hard to watch you, and you understand he's a competitor. But there's a day that every athlete, they say it's you can't play anymore. And I think Westbrook, he's right there.
Halftime on this Friday includes Neil Atkinson from BetSarazin at 1:15. We'll get a look and see what's available on the BetSarazin app with the second half of the baseball season starting. And now a lot of people, you may have different thoughts about teams in the SEC than you did a week ago. So maybe some of those preseason college football odds have changed just a little bit over the last few days. We have Danny West from 24/7 Sports to talk football recruiting in hour number 2. And in just a moment, we'll visit with Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Halftime right back after this quick break.
This is halftime.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, to 40, to 30, college at the 20. This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie.
Once you woke up late in the morning, like the day had just begun, she opened up her eyes and thought, oh, what the morning. It's not a day for us, it's a day for catching time. Just lying on the beach and having fun. She's going to get it, all that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy, all that she wants is another baby.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on HitThatLine.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Right to our hotline, Aaron Torres joining us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast and Aaron Torres Media the day after SEC Media Days concludes. And AT, our preseason poll has come out. I guess it's all writers, media members picking Georgia to win, but I really have a tough time taking this poll seriously because it happened again. I don't remember how many votes Vanderbilt got last year, but they got 2. They got 2 this year, and so somebody's just having fun with their votes, which happens every year.
Well, there you go. I'm just seeing it in real time. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably want an Arkansas perspective on all this. I guess what I would just say about it from the broader perspective is I think LSU, although, number 5 seems like a weird thing to, complain about isn't the right word, but to kind of use as a jumping off point. I think 5 is kind of an interesting number because obviously in this era of the 12-team playoff, that's kind of the 4-5 spot where you're going to have a cutoff probably for an SEC team making the playoff. But then also, obviously so many questions with that program, an entirely new defensive staff. Statistically, one of the worst defenses in all of major college football last year. And, oh, by the way, they lost the Heisman Trophy winner as well. So I find them to be interesting at number 6, when you factor in some of the teams behind them. I know there's a lot of buzz on Missouri, Tennessee, with a lot coming back except for at the quarterback position, although I think they could upgrade with Nico. And then, of course, right behind them, Oklahoma in their first year. So, again, I know you guys are probably going to spend most of the day talking the Arkansas perspective. I think LSU at number 5 is really the one that stands out to me.
Got Arkansas at number 14. Just in front of Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, but Texas has picked 7.
Let me jump in real quick. What is you guys have the pulse of the fan base? Is there excitement, trepidation? I mean, listen, you criticize Sam Pittman for whatever you want. I give him credit for owning it at the podium yesterday, saying, I took a lot of praise when we were winning 9 games in 2021, but I understand the heat that comes with the position that we're in now. I'm just curious. From the fan perspective, is the 14th place pick something people are going to be mad about, something people expected? Just curious for your perspective.
My feeling is that's probably where fans expect to be around. Not saying they think they're going to be number 14, but somewhere in between 11 and 14. And that's just taking the temperature of the fan base. People very well know, the situation with the program and everything. And I think it's also the idea, and we've kind of coalesced around this thought too. I think Arkansas is going to be a better football team than they were last year. I think they've improved on both sides of the ball, looking at who they brought in from the portal, coaching staff improvements as well. That doesn't necessarily automatically mean you're going to do better than 4-8 or 5-7, because I'm just not quite sure how the rest of the league has improved, and they might have improved more in some cases.
Well, no, and that's where I think it's interesting from an Arkansas perspective, and I think for a lot of teams, right, is that doing all my prep work over the last couple of weeks to really kind of get ready for the season. That's kind of been a takeaway of mine, is that you look at the roster and it is, on paper, it should be better, but then you also, just the nature of the SEC now with the way that schedules are and the way that schedules break, listen, I'm not rooting for or against anything, but at Oklahoma State, at Auburn in the first month, I know neither of those teams are necessarily great, but those are 2 tough places to play. Then obviously A&M on a neutral field and Tennessee all before your first bye. That's just insane, and that doesn't even get into LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, on and on. So I think, and I may have said this on your guys' show, I might not have. I know we've talked a lot of basketball over the last couple months. I just think that the SEC and Big Ten, to a large degree, are going to be so interesting because I really do think it's going to be almost like the NFL, where every year teams go in the NFL from worst to first. And I'm not saying it's going to happen in the SEC, but teams go from worst to first in the NFL, because they improve or whatever. But a lot of times it's just they're playing a last place schedule, and all of a sudden you get a quarterback healthy, whatever. It's a different deal. And I just look at the SEC, and I think everything – we've always known that schedules play a role, but I think it's going to play such a big role because so many schedules are so imbalanced. I mean, just look at Texas's schedule versus Oklahoma's and some of the games that Oklahoma has to play. I think it's a fascinating thought experiment, but then also something that I think we're going to have to very seriously, kind of consider in June, July, and August as we start previewing seasons looking ahead.
Hey, Aaron, I'm a Hugh Freeze fan, and he's at Auburn. He said he's going to go back to calling the plays. And do you who's your dark horse if you were to look outside of the top 5? I think Auburn's a team that could make a splash and have a chance to make that playoff 12. Who do you like Auburn, or who do you like outside of that top 5?
Outside of the top 5, so I'll say this. So, by the way, I know I'm going to be the guy that has, hyped this team up for, literally the 50th straight offseason. But listen, what did I just say? Schedules. Look at Texas A&M's schedule. No Alabama. I think they're the only team, except actually Arkansas. No Alabama. No Alabama and Georgia. So them and Arkansas are the only two, I believe, that don't have either one. They get Texas at home, which is obviously their toughest game. Notre Dame at home is going to be a really tough one. But then you look at the rest of the schedule; they don't play Ole Miss, they don't play LSU. So let's just talk that out right there, right? Is that you don't play Alabama, Georgia, LSU, or Ole Miss? Well, again, what did I just say? LSU is picked to finish 5th, which means that you miss 4 of the top 5 teams in those standings. I just think that they are, and by the way, the other thing too is, and I know I'm kind of rambling and all over the place, but they actually do have a lot of talent. That was part of the reason that the Jimbo Fisher era was such a failure. And so if Connor Wigman could stay healthy, and that's a big thing, and they obviously do have question marks, it's just a schedule that's set up very nicely where most of their biggest games are at home. And again, look at the schedule. No Alabama, no Georgia, no Ole Miss, no LSU. It's never going to get much easier than that in the SEC.
Now I'm looking at A&M for this very reason. A&M doesn't have Alabama. Yeah. They don't have Georgia on the schedule. And no, some of their toughest games are at home. Missouri, coming to College Station. LSU, going to College Station. Texas even, College Station. That's the last game of the year. As far as going on the road, they can win at Auburn, I think. I think they can win in Starkville. They can win in Columbia against South Carolina. And that's the other aspect, too. And that was one thing that Peyton Thorne mentioned yesterday, Matt, about the play calling last year at Auburn. They didn't believe in a lot of the play calls if they felt like it was coming from the coordinator and not from the head coach. I think team chemistry was a huge issue at A&M under Jimbo Fisher. And look, if there's a thing that Mike Elko had to have done very well, it was find a way for a team to mesh at Duke. Like if you're going to coach guys up, if you're going to take a roster, like you usually get at Duke, and have the kind of seasons that they had every once in a while under him, you know how to get teams to mesh. I think A&M might be a team you'd look at.
Well, and that's part of it too. Is that I think there's going to be a coaching upgrade. Listen, I mean, you can go back and draw a pretty straight line of A&M was pretty good under Jimbo Fisher. Not great, never elite, but they were pretty good until Mike Elko left, and then the wheels fell off. And is that all of it? I don't know. They obviously took some character guys that didn't work out, especially in that highly rated 2022 class. But the schedule's there, to your point, Phil. And the other thing about Elko, Elko did it in year 1 at Duke, too. Now, I know it's a different the SEC is a different beast. We all get that. But won 9 games in year 1 at Duke, did it quickly. And the other thing, too, which is kind of interesting, is that a lot of those guys on that roster know him and were recruited by him. So it's not to say that, whatever, but he does have a pre-existing relationship where he can walk in that building and I think pretty instantly command respect. Obviously, if guys didn't believe in his vision, they could have left. So again, I know that, and by the way, I do like Matt's pick as well of Auburn. Auburn's schedule, actually, considering that they have Georgia and Alabama, doesn't break terribly. But again, I know we've hyped Texas A&M for 20 straight off seasons and it never works out. But there's a lot of things that break in their favor this year.
Hey, Aaron, with Alabama's new coach, you got Texas and OU coming into the league, and then Alabama breaking in a new coach. But he's got over an 80% winning percentage everywhere he's been. Do you think Alabama slides back a little bit this year, or are they still a 10-win team?
Well, the only reason they would slide back, again, go look at the schedule. At Oklahoma, at LSU, at Tennessee. But I would also say about those 3 teams, all 3 of those teams are breaking in a brand new starter, and Alabama has Jalen Milroe. I think to me, and by the way, Alabama has Georgia at home as well. So I think the key for Alabama is what do you get from Jalen Milroe? And Kalen DeBoer has been a little bit of a quarterback whisperer. I mean, listen, it's easy to forget this now. Go look at Michael Penix's last few years at Indiana. I mean, this was a 57, 58% completion guy, goes with Kalen DeBoer. They had a previous relationship, and, he's a Heisman finalist last year, leading Washington to a national championship game. So I'm probably a little bit higher on Alabama. I know Nick Saban kind of made headlines this week by saying that he doesn't believe they'll play for an SEC title. But listen, in this new world, you don't have to play for an SEC title to make the playoff. And once you get there, obviously we all know that Alabama, from a talent perspective, is going to be as equipped as anybody. So I'm a little bit more bullish on them, understanding that I do think it is going to come down to, can you get consistent quarterback play from Jalen Milroe? Because if you even remember back to last year, they really, schematically, did some things to kind of hide his throwing, really, using him as a runner, relying on the defense, winning a bunch of low-scoring games. So I think his development will be key for them to do, I still think they'll make the playoff, but anything beyond that.
Hey, Aaron, how much NBA Summer League do you watch?
I browse. I'm more of a look at the stat sheet and completely overreact. I'm more of that guy. Like Reed Shepherd, how did that guy not go number one? Donovan Clingan, how did that guy not go number one? I've been watching a fair amount. Why do you ask, Phil? Why do you ask?
It's just because, look, you got games on ESPN. I mean, they're big events in some cases. It's like a reason to go to Vegas to watch a little bit of basketball at the same time. Oh, yeah. Nobody watches, I don't think as many people watch spring training baseball or preseason NFL games all the way to the end. And it's just the NBA seems to have something with this summer league. They figured out it's like another minor league or another way to just, I know it's about development, but they also wouldn't be doing it if they weren't making money on it.
Well, I'll tell you, I never tell anybody how to spend their discretionary income, but it's a really fun event to attend. It's at the Thomas & Mack Center where UNLV plays. But what's interesting is the women's facility is right next door. So there's 2 courts, and there's games going on basically every day, and, all day, every day from about 10 a.m. Pacific time till about probably 11 p.m. at night. And one ticket gets you in the arena all day. So you show up at 10, you could in theory stay 12 hours, and you can kind of bounce back and forth. And so, especially for a school like Arkansas that has so many guys in it every year, and certainly with Cal there, that's not going to slow down. It's a really, really, really fun thing to do. And I would add, especially this time of year in Vegas, you can't be out in the sun for very long because it is really hot unless you're right by the pool. But I'll tell you, again, if people are looking for a summer trip with something to do, and obviously, I'm just I love Vegas, and, there's always a show, there's always a good dinner to have. But I will say events that I've covered and events that I've been part of, from a fan value perspective, it's about as good as it gets. Because like I said, 2 games a day, you get tickets to both, or 2 games going on at the same time all day. It's a really, really, really good event. And I highly encourage people to get out there if you can.
We'll leave it there. Aaron, we appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend, and we'll visit again next week.
I'll be here next week. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Aaron.
It's Aaron Torres with us each Friday from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Hey, big Fridays at Joe's Grill and Cantina, Fajita Fridays. All day long today, $1 off any and all fajitas. And ask about the flavored margarita, the featured drink today. Tomorrow, Mexicali is the featured item. And you got sports on TV. You got outstanding service. Be outside on the patio this weekend. It's going to be great, nice and comfortable as well, a little more comfortable than usual. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th, across from Harps in Fort Smith, joesfortsmith.com. You can get on the horn as well, 877-377-6963. Arkansas picked to finish 14th in the SEC this year. We'll kick that around in just a moment on halftime.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime.
ESPN Arkansas is kicking off college football live from Radio Row in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Our shows provide insight on player and coach interviews, including special moments throughout the entire week. Make sure to tune into the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach to get this unique coverage presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, WT Equipment, and Limbird Real Estate Group. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Get hooked on Sharp Equipment this year. Sharp Equipment has hooked up with Eastern Oklahoma Guide Service for a free guided fishing trip with the purchase of any Wacker Newson equipment. Along with getting a superior piece of equipment, you will get hooked up with a free guided fishing trip for the chance at a catch of a lifetime. Visit them at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call them at 479-242-1406.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
To the devil, do you like drums? Do you like cigarettes, dominoes, rum? Me say it only sundown, Sundays, Christmas, Sundays. And when I need a few friends, now and again, I can never hope to keep them. Thought to get friends what I thought that they wanted. Never had they needed, a good friend is happen. Don't get me venting on friends who resent you, cause all you've ever done is been a noose to hang on to. They thought was a necklace and reckless, they fell into hell. We both hang with nothing to do but scratch, kick, like gravity went like fall. This like gravity went like you could leave it all behind. Even the devil needs time to lose sometimes.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, I guess you could have expected Arkansas would be picked this low in a preseason poll. Sandwiched between South Carolina and Mississippi State, Arkansas picked 14th in the preseason poll. I'll just read through it for you. Georgia picked number 1. Now, keep in mind, this is the predicted order of SEC finish. This is supposed to have nothing to do with non-conference games. This is supposed to just have to do with your league games. I'm sure everybody just that made their votes on this parsed only the league games and did it based off the schedule, not necessarily the roster strength. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, 1 through 3. Ole Miss, LSU, Mizzou, 4 through 6. Tennessee, Oklahoma, A&M, and Auburn after that. Kentucky and Florida, and then Carolina, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. Should expect it. It's a lot. It's a long list. Usually be like, well, all right, picked 6th or 7th in the division. And I guess in that case, if you're just going by what the division used to be like, Arkansas would have been picked 6th. Mississippi State would have been picked 7th. No surprise, Matt. And I guess that goes to show that I think they don't say, like, they're not predicting what the record is, but I think if you're picked to finish 14th out of a 16-team league, you're probably picked to go 1-7.
Yeah, no surprise Georgia's picked to win it. I'm sure, was Georgia picked to win it last year? I don't see why not. Arkansas, I mean, you kind of have a chip on your shoulder when you're at Arkansas. You have to. There's 1-7 last year. I'm beginning to buy in. I'm beginning to believe a little bit that Petrino's worth a couple wins and that it was worse than what we were led to. I mean, we sat there and saw it last year. But, I did a deal with Ken Hatfield last year at it was like a first tee deal, and we were signing some things. And I asked him, I said, Coach, what's you ever have to fire your offensive coordinator in the middle of the season? He kind of looked at me like, no, man. It's like I think it was worse than what we thought last year. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't do anything. We're going to be better this year. No question about it.
Yeah, and see, that gets to the heart of one of the things that I saw Peyton Thorne talking about. I brought it up just a moment ago about really just a lack of belief in the person that's making the calls for you in terms of the offensive coordinator. Let's see, last year it was Philip Montgomery, the former Tulsa coach, who was the OC under Hugh Freeze. Freeze yesterday was talking about, he felt... It must have felt to him like he was barely even able to speak if he couldn't call the plays. And that led to some problems with team chemistry. They didn't believe in the plays that were being called by the offensive coordinator, and they didn't want to run those plays. I feel like that must have been an issue for last year's team too. How could you not believe in the man who's making the calls this year and the idea that he's being given full control of the offense in every decision?
That's kind of wild that he came out and said that when you think about it. The head coach just admitting it and talking about, that's I don't know why he didn't remedy that in the middle of the season. But if your head coach isn't believing it, I don't know how you're going to win if he's kind of 50-50 on decisions.
Well, and so, thinking, get into Petrino's mind a little bit about last year, working for Jimbo Fisher. And they said all the right things at media days last year. Most people usually do say the right things in those sort of situations. But, you can imagine, I mean, a man like Jimbo Fisher, who's used to making calls and calling the plays, and to have to cede the offense over to Bobby Petrino, I mean, that could create some issues too.
Well,
it's a lot different with Pittman, though. I mean, it's not like he ever was making the calls before. He's never been a coordinator.
And there's things you discuss, like are we in field goal range? Or let's say there's 4 minutes to go in the first half and your defense has been on the field a little bit and you're down 3 or you're down 7. And it's like, hey, let's make sure we don't give the ball back. Let's make sure we run the ball. You know, these are things you discuss, although Petrino's going to call the plays. It's just you're kind of discussing strategy. You know, how many timeouts do we have? All right, are we in 4-down territory now? So it's 2nd down and 12. Are we in 4-down territory? All right, so it kind of changes what you're going to run. Or even if it's 3rd and 5, you talk, okay, we're going to go for it. So you got 2 downs, not just 1. And so you kind of strategize a little bit, and it's good to have that open communication.
I'm beginning to coalesce around the idea that you know, a better coordinator in that case might be worth a couple wins to you. You know, for a team that was 1-5 in games decided by a single score last year, can you put a little bit of that on coaching, on play calling in certain situations, or you know, plays that weren't called, potentially so. You know, and again, this is all about league games. You know, this predicted order of finish is not about, you know, where you're going to finish for the whole season. It's about where you're going to finish in the SEC standings. So you're going to take away the first 3. I think Arkansas definitely has winnable games on the schedule. You can win at Auburn this year. I think you can beat A&M this year. I think you can beat Missouri as long as by that time the season's gone in a positive direction. I think you could surprise LSU. I think Mississippi State on the road is a very winnable game. And there's a couple others that I think you could surprise in the right situation. But it's kind of for me, it's kind of got to start early, like start the belief cycle early, you know, and put away the Oklahoma State game a little bit. But that's gonna have a lot to do with, I think, how this team believes going into the 3rd week. You know, you can't throw away the UAB game, by the way. Like that's a team that set offensive records last year. They returned a lot of starters from that side of the ball, you know. So I mean, it's a home game. You should win it, but I'm right now not saying, hey, it's automatically a victory. The other thing too, it's like looking at the schedule, and I guess I hadn't even thought about this, but it is true. They play in 5 different stadiums in the first 5 weeks. Like that's bouncing around, man. That is a lot of bouncing around. Little Rock to Stillwater to Fayetteville to Auburn to Arlington, and then back to Fayetteville finally to play Tennessee. So by the time you get into October, they will have played in 5 different stadiums. I mean, that's a lot of travel. And I don't know, maybe it wears on you a little bit because Fridays when you're traveling are a heck of a lot different than Fridays that you're not traveling.
Stillwater can't get here fast enough, Phil. That's the game. It's got to be circled. If you're an Arkansas fan, obviously you're excited about week 1. But I really do. I believe that Oklahoma State game is going to be a great litmus test for this team, and you're gonna see and they make the most improvement from week 1 to week 3. But that Oklahoma State team, you can get a couple turnovers. I'm glad we're getting Oklahoma State early. The thing is, what we were talking about, they have 49 guys on their team from Texas. It's just going to be able to match up. You know, do we look the part? It's going to be the eye test. Or do we have some speed on the outsides? Can we run the ball this year? That's one thing that we're going to have to be able to do. I don't know if it's been talked about enough, but that running game was pedestrian last year. We have to be able to run the ball.
And you're going to have to slow the run down from Oklahoma State. Not necessarily say stop it. You're at least going to have to slow that down. Chris in Springdale says he's got no doubt Arkansas will be better this upcoming season. Doug says he believes in Sam Pittman and is excited about this year. He's looking at 8 wins minimum. I wonder if they thought that a week ago before SEC Media Days. 877-377-6963 is our phone number, and Heath is with us on the line. Hey, Heath, how you doing?
Hey, good midday, guys. I'm doing great. Sitting out here by the pool, enjoying this nice weather. Finally, it's not so hot. You can't just sit out here and enjoy it. Enjoy your show,
start
too.
on you for the pool today, Matt. I got FOMO. You probably do, too.
I just listening to the show. Great show. Just wanted to say I just don't see the evidence to where Arkansas is going to be really any better this year. I mean, people believe in Bobby Petrino. I just think he's seen better days. I don't everything that Arkansas has lost, all the players gone, I just don't see the weapons to where, you you could counteract Phil Steele's prediction of finishing 14th, 1-7 in the SEC with a 4-8 overall record. I don't. That seems pretty accurate to me. We will be able to see, what the team's going to look like, but they're not going to beat Oklahoma State, Stillwater, and they got a tough 4-game stretch where they play SEC with just one day off in between those games. I just don't see the evidence where they're going to be any better. I mean, you can look at Taylor Green. He had mediocre numbers at best against Mountain West Conference competition. Now he's coming into the SEC. The kid coming from Utah to run the ball, same thing. I mean, SEC is a different animal, and I mean, I just don't see how they're going to be any better.
I think part of the hope that fans have is that you've replaced your tackles. You got a center that comes from an SEC school. And look, I think is valid criticisms that you bring up, Heath. But I also think that most of the problems from last year, I think they did stem from a lack of the ability to block on the offensive line, offensive coordinator that the team didn't really believe in very much, and the hope is that replacing those spots can lead to a little bit more forward momentum. But I think your points are salient too.
I mean, I hate to be so critical. I really do. But, if you look at the schedule, they're catching teams. Missouri's good. They're probably a playoff team. They have recruited. Drinkowitz has recruited well. I mean, Ole Miss is a playoff team. Kiffin's got things in the right direction. I mean, Texas, playoff team. Heisman Trophy quarterback candidate.
How many different playoff teams do you expect to come out of the SEC this year? Because if Mizzou and Ole Miss are in, then that means Georgia and Texas are not. I mean, I'm looking at 3 of them. I think by the end of the season, maybe Missouri's got a shot. Maybe so. Maybe by November 2nd, Ole Miss has a shot too. Their rosters certainly look like they are improved to the point where they'll have an opportunity maybe to play for it. And the Missouri schedule, I think, plays in that direction as well. Heath, we're up against a break. I appreciate your phone call. Thank you. 877-377-6963. We'll react to that phone call in a moment and be right back.
This is halftime.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Crawford County's only new car dealer. I've got Grant Neal, general manager. Grant, man, what a great selection you guys have here at Road Chevrolet.
It's really awesome. We've been looking at trying to expand our inventory, and right now the selection's the best it's been in a long time. Full line of new light-duty trucks. Got I think over 10 heavy-duty trucks in stock, including the 3500 cabin chassis, as well as the extremely popular custom 2500 that everybody's in love with.
There have been times when some dealerships have charged over MSRP. What about here at Rhodes?
Well, no, I mean, we've never charged over MSRP through all the craziness we never did, and now we're even marking below MSRP.
And if you need financing, you can take care of that too.
Oh, absolutely. Robert Good, our finance director, is an absolute wizard at working the banks. GM Financial's offering rates as low as 1.9% for well-qualified buyers on select new Chevys, and we haven't seen rates that low in a very long time.
Come by today, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren Road, Chevrolet.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes a Lily Chip Chop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, you had a couple texters say they expect a better year from Arkansas. We've got Hog Wild thinks that Arkansas is rudderless, and Sam Pittman is a dead duck. We've got Brandon in Paris thinks the points that Heath brought up were valid, but he also thinks that wild card is Bobby Petrino. Matt, what did you make of Heath's comments? What do you think?
Well, we talked about this earlier, I think, in an earlier segment. When you had opposing forces, we talked about it with Hugh Freeze not feeling comfortable in the team, not feeling comfortable. We talked about that with Jimbo and Petrino last year at A&M. There was a disconnect there, and people can see that. That's one thing you have to be authentic. And there can't be a lot of lie in you. And so if there's something going on and you're not vibing well, then the whole team, especially when it's your head ball coach. And so you saw that at Auburn last year. You saw that at A&M, excuse me. I think you're going to see some freedom. I think you're going to see Petrino excel and shine. He has 100% autonomy. Like he's going to it's going to be his show. And his head coach is backing him up 100%. So I think you're going to see fireworks.
The other aspect too, for me, personnel wise, just the guys you've brought in for the offensive line, that you've made massive changes at the tackle position with guys that are bigger, older, and more experienced in the college game. And I know about Addison Nichols at center as well. With that in mind, I mean, that was the main issue, I think, for last year's football team. If this offensive line is better, and I think they could be a heck of a lot better, I mean, that changes things dramatically from one season to the next.
And we'll see. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns. They're going to be better last year. How many teams fired their offensive coordinator in the SEC last year during the middle of the season? Arkansas.
I think there was one.
That tells you all that's not going to happen this year. I think this offense is, and we're talking a lot about the offense. Man, I like Travis Williams. I really do. I like his style. I think he's going to be much improved in year two. Kind of understand, this it's new to him last year, so I think they're going to be okay.
What are your thoughts on Arkansas being picked 14th in the first 16-team SEC preseason poll? We'll take your calls. We'll get to your texts over the next hour as well. Danny West from 24/7 Sports will join us at 1:15. 877-377-6963 to get with us here in halftime, and we are right back after this.
Waiting on someone to bale your hay? Come in to Gray Brothers Equipment and let us show you how affordable owning your own Kubota hay equipment can be. Bale your hay when it's ready, not when it's burned up. With economical pricing at Gray Brothers and affordable interest rates from Kubota, this year is the year to bale your own hay. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the low to mid 80s, mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low in the low 60s. Saturday, blue skies, sunshine. Our high on Saturday in the low to mid 80s, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms again on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 41 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
But they were one Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime in hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones. Christian Johnston, the C movie man, is in the producer's chair today. You didn't watch Fight Club last night, did you, Christian? Or you got?
I got a little over
halfway
halfway finished.
What was wrong? Were you tired? Did you have a big day? You couldn't finish the thing?
I couldn't finish it, but I will finish it probably tonight.
Our friend is an old man, Matt. That's usually the thing that I do, is fall asleep on the couch while in the middle of a really exciting movie. I watched Fight Club myself the other day. I think it was Wednesday night. I could barely sit down. I was so into it. I don't know what.
No, it's interesting. I'm gonna finish it.
What part did you make it to?
Where that lady kind of moved in with them and basically reappeared back into that guy's life, and he's not happy.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, she's moved in with them, Matt. So I think we know exactly where he is in the movie. Good. You're going to have a good time when you finish it tonight. Just don't fall asleep after 30 minutes, okay? The Monster Burger contest must have really sucked a lot of your energy out yesterday.
No, I can't blame it on that. But I'm getting old, I guess.
Okay, it's just getting old. That's good. Very good. Well, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. That's for sure. I'm trying to download some stuff for our flights today. You know, this internet outage across the world. I saw where there have been at one point 19,000 flights that have either been canceled or delayed, which includes our friend JT in Hot Springs. He was texting me earlier, and he might be listening right now on the tarmac somewhere in Houston. He and his wife have a trip to Turks and Caicos. And they were supposed to leave. I think they were supposed to get there on Wednesday. They are still not there. And JT had to go buy himself a new pair of shorts and a new shirt and underwear and socks because they wouldn't even let him get their luggage off of the flight yesterday when they had their flight canceled. So for right now, it looks like we're on for an on-time takeoff, but. Man, it's already one of those days, Matt, where I remember exactly the reasons why I can't stand commercial air travel. Ugh. Not a lot of fun today.
Yeah, you get to eat airport food. Travel can be fun sometimes if everything goes smoothly.
It's a matter of if it goes smoothly. That's
where do you got to connect?
We're flying to Atlanta.
I always don't fly. You gotta. When I was in Jacksonville, sometimes you'd have to fly to Atlanta. I'd rather fly to Dallas or Memphis instead of Atlanta. It was always 45 minutes, hour and a half. I mean, it was late every single time.
Remember, Dallas used to be one of those airports you wanted to avoid when they had the old tram system. Mm-hmm. You know, the one that
if you got stuck on that, man, you'd be 45 minutes late.
The newer system, which I guess it's not really new any longer. It's been over 10 years when they installed this new system at DFW. It's a lot quicker, but that old one. And it felt like you were on a 95-year-old Disney ride almost that had never been serviced. It just was very uncomfortable and didn't get you where you needed to go. Chicago's the one I try to avoid now. But really, I just usually avoid commercial air travel. Just kind of lucky traveling with the teams. I do wonder, at some point, because of the change in how college athletes are going to be getting paid, I think there are going to be a lot of schools that change the way they travel. For non-conference scheduling in some sports, and I don't know if this will be the case at Arkansas, but I think it'll be at other schools around the state and smaller conferences. You'll be looking for regional bus travel to save some cash because that cash can end up going right into some of the players' pockets. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime today. Arkansas picked 14th in the preseason poll. And let's get some thoughts from Eduardo, who's giving us a call here. Eduardo, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. As I called in just before media days, it's the season. And we got 41 days, baby. And I'm getting pumped. For a guy, when Coach Pittman supposed to be the hottest seat in the country, being fired this year, he seemed confident. And I admire that. The players seem confident. There's an old saying, we've all heard it. It's not, the size of the dog in the fight. It's the fight in the dog. In this case, the fight in the hog. And Houston not said it last. There's only one hog in the entire country. There's only one Peak Shuley. And I believe this. We got a playmaker and quarterback. I believe it. I believe the X Factor's Bobby Petrino. And as I said before media days, you know, Coach Pittman touched on it. Are you going to win a close game? I have no doubt, like I said, in Arlington, it goes down to the wire. Ain't no doubt about it. Are you going to win that game? You got to have it. And then I'm a believer in this, sir. You got to win your home games. And when the Vols, you talk about that first 6 games, come into Fayetteville, we beat them before, we can beat them again.
Win your home games, just got to stay afloat at least before you start finally playing at home. You know, Hogs have only 2 games away from Fayetteville once you get into October. Up until then, just 1 game in Fayetteville with 5 different venues. Eddie, have you ever not felt better about a team going after media days? I mean, was there ever a media days where you listened to somebody talk, whether it was Coach Hatfield or Danny Ford or Houston Nutt or Chad Morris or Bobby Petrino or Sam Pittman and walked away from it thinking, man, I don't think this team's going to be any good this year?
Well, you know, I'm a firm believer and confident. I believe in getting pumped. And I believe the team is going to come fight for our program. They're going to fight for our fan base. And we're going to get that. We're going to win some of them close games this year. The X Factor, somebody called in a while ago, Mr. Bobby Petrino. Because, he's going to attack you on the perimeter. And I love it. And I think we got the best tight end in the country. And Luke Haas, if he's healthy, baby, watch him.
Yeah, that's another one. And we had, who is it that texted in about this? Bub in Fayetteville texted in, said the team was pretty solid until losing Luke Haas. Just he didn't play all that. I mean, was it 4 games, 5 games last year before the injury? I think it was the A&M game where it occurred. So he looked great up until then, but a healthy Luke Haas going to go a long way. And I have missed the Ric Flair woo. I've really missed it. It's been a minute since I've heard this one, even the quiet one. Did you see Flair was ticked off at ESPN for not being in their top 100 athletes since 2000? I didn't even realize he still wrestled after 2000 all that much.
The nature boy wants to be a top hunter, so Biff wants to be a buff.
Woo! Tuna's up next with us. Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm good. For the record, Phil, did C-Unit say that he fell asleep during the movie or whatever?
Yeah, he said he fell asleep halfway into Fight Club. I will give him a pass on this.
Not because I'm bored, though.
It's because I mean, the same thing happens to me. I don't know what was going on. He said it wasn't because it was a hard work day. I don't know. You can fill in the blanks yourself for the reasons why that might have happened.
Here's my theory. Look, the C-Unit may work his freaking butt off, and I agree. I think he does work his butt off. Does a hell of a job for you guys. Not tooting his horn, but here's the thing. Listen, college football video game has come out, and I think that the C-Unit said, you know what? I got to play this game.
He had to get a 3-game series in.
Yeah, I mean, I got to play this game. Everybody, I mean, this thing is going viral. What a job by EA, and I'm not, this game, man, there's a few bugs in there, but they'll fix them, and it's just awesome. By the way, Phil, this whole freaking outage thing, it is messing up everything.
Hospitals too, right?
Yes, absolutely, and that too, banks. Oh man, it's been a crazy day. So the Tuna has decided it is lunch. I've been so mad all freaking day because I can't hardly do nothing at work. So I'm about to I said, you know what, 4 hours of vacation will do. I can go home, and as long as EA Sports College Football is working, I can go home and do something. So I think I'm going to do that. So the Tuna has decided to take off the rest of the day and go do that. Man, this game is just unbelievable, and I'm loving everything about it, Matt. If you ever do get a chance to play it, man, you're gonna be like, wow, they have added so much stuff. But I'm with Eddie. Of course, Eddie's pumped all the time. I think he should just say, I'm pumped 24/7 and leave it at that.
Yeah. He didn't even really give me an answer about any media days that he wasn't more excited about the team after media days, which is what that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to spur conversation, give ESPN content, and fire up all the fan bases as much as you possibly can. Just I do think there are some, and we have a lot of them texting in, Razorback fans who do not feel like being fired up.
Well, I will say this. I'm with you. As far as the rankings go, I think whether you're ranked number 3 or 4 or 1 or 14, it's so different now. The landscape of college sports has changed so much, and I think it's so hard with preseason rankings. Even though we are ranked so low, I don't buy into it as much. It comes down to what Clay talked about. If we're better up front, which I'm really confident in the starting 5, I just hope nobody goes down. That does scare me a little bit. But if we're better there, we're going to be a good football team because you got these 2 big wide receivers on the outside. And if you got time to throw it and you can run the football, they're going to be fine. And I think the defense is going to be better than you think, Phil, because I think the offense is going to be better, which makes the defense better. Now, the only thing that really scares me right now is we're going to miss Cam Little. That scares me. We may just decide, you know what, let's just go for it on 4th down now. That does scare me. That's one of my worries.
And I don't even think I took that into account, but you're right, Charlie.
Y'all have a good one.
It's good to hear from you, Charlie. If you're talking about close ball games, your kicker comes in pretty big in those moments, doesn't he? And you had one of the best kickers in the country the last 3 years, and I mean, Matthew Shipley, he had some real issues during the spring game, and they brought somebody in since then. So, yeah, kicking may be something to focus on at times, too, when it comes to close ball games. Special teams will always come into play in that case. Looking at the text line here, Ben wants to make a bet on barbecue that Arkansas doesn't win 5 games. Can't take any bets, but I do see your point. Again, these are people's opinions about the preseason poll at 877-377-6963. If you're saying no, not even get to 5 wins, then it's 4, and you're looking probably at 1-7 would be your guess. If you're picking Arkansas to go to a bowl game, that would be 3 conference wins, maybe 2, but if you get to 3, then you're talking about 7 victories. And I do see the opportunity for 3 to 4 SEC wins. I'm not telling you that they're going to win those games. I'm just saying an opportunity with things going in the right direction to win those ball games. We'll take a call from Mitchell in Fort Smith, then we'll break, and we'll have Danny West in a moment. Mitchell, how you doing today?
Hey, guys. What's up?
Just doing sports radio today. How about you?
Just listening to some sports radio. I guess my main thing is everybody talking about Bobby Petrino's come full circle now that the Cal news has died down, baseball's over, everybody's back on Bobby Petrino. I just don't see him being the magic elixir, I guess. We had a good year, one good year with him. He went to that Sugar Bowl, lost, and then he went in the ditch, literally, after that. Last year at A&M, he went 7-6, I think, was their record. They had more talent, more money than we did. I guess I'm a fan. I'll always be a fan, but I try to be real when it comes to stuff like this.
Who would you want then? If it wasn't Bobby P, who would you want as our OC?
No, that's the thing. I have no idea because we've been in this rut for so long that I don't know how to get out of it. Houston was here. Everybody complained whenever we went 8-4, 9-3. We get rid of him, and it's been progressively downhill since then. A couple of good years here and there, and I don't know what the answer is. Money, we don't have the money. We can't recruit. I don't know. I'm not a coach. Just a fan. But I don't know that he is the solution. Maybe I'll be wrong. After looking at the schedule, I have us going 4-8, and I think that'll be the last year for Sam. Good guy, but maybe out of his element. Last year, the O-line was the worst that it's been since I can remember, and he's an O-line coach. I don't know what the fix is. I like Eddie's enthusiasm. I've been listening to him since he was calling into the Bo Mattingly show, and I love it. And I'm excited, too. I'm always excited every year that rolls around. I don't have high hopes for it.
Mitchell, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for calling in today. And I think there's a lot of fans that are in the place that Mitchell is. Mike in Bentonville doesn't think it matters who the offensive coordinator is. We got a texter, an unnamed texter out of the 501 that says Bobby wasn't able to duplicate his success at Louisville, or at A&M. I think for every Arkansas fan that is optimistic of turning things around and that Petrino being a part of that, I think that there's another fan or two that might feel in the opposite way, and that even bringing in a good coordinator might not necessarily be enough. I'm not saying that's where I am. I think there's a lot of fans that are there. Danny West from 24/7 Sports will talk some Razorback football recruiting after this break.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is halftime.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video.
Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I'm a honky-tonk man. Ain't I can't sing it stop. Love to give the girls the world to the music coming up to buy. When my money's all gone, I'm telephone singing, hey, mama, can your daddy come home?
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed to our hotline. Always appreciate a visit from Danny West from 24/7 Sports, part of the, of course, hogsports.com. And we always appreciate talking with you, Danny, a day after SEC Media Days. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me back on. Always fun to jump on here with y'all.
So your colleague Trey Biddy has released his preseason, the way he voted in this poll. He's got Arkansas 13th, Razorbacks picked 14th. Where does that sit with you?
That's about probably where I would put Arkansas as well, 13, 14, somewhere in there. No real surprise. You know, I was listening to Phil Steele. He did a national show the other day, and I remember him saying, you know, all the fans get mad when he picks everybody 12th, 13th, and now it's like, well, there's 16 SEC teams. Everybody's good, so you can't really – it's hard to nitpick, I guess is the point there.
Do you think Arkansas has improved their team from last year? Now, that's independent of what the record is, because everybody else in this league may have improved too.
Yeah, and, you know, you can't – I was talking to somebody this morning. You can't really put it on the record. I've seen cases where a team improves, and it's not necessarily reflected in the, you know, in the wins column. But, yeah, I think they are, Phil, and the biggest reason I should say is the offensive line. I'm going to side and believe in Eric Mateos because I've known him for a while. I know what Sam Pittman has to say about him, and it just seems to me that maybe they hit enough of the right pieces there to get by. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be great. You heard Pitt talk yesterday about, well, I'm not saying they're going to be Georgia, but what they had at Georgia, we all know was pretty special. All they've got to do is be average. If they can improve the average, that goes a long way for any team. Even last year, had they had an average offensive line, I mean, maybe that 1-5 record in close games would have been something like, 2-4 or 3-3, something like that, which is a completely different conversation if that's the case. So, yes, to answer your question, I think they will be improved if for no other reason than the offensive line. I'm going to trust Bobby Petrino going to get his quarterback. I'm going to trust that that's going to work out. And I actually like the skill players on offense probably better than most. I would say I think Armstrong, how he came up with 765 yards and 5 touchdowns out of that offense last year is mind-blowing to me. So I think he and Luke Hasz, to me, are the duo this year. And I like it just enough that, yeah, I could side with Trey there. I could see 5-6 wins, and ultimately, that's the deciding factor. That's going to determine a lot, whether it's 5 or 6 this year. But that's about where I would put them.
Hey, Danny, we lost our lead-in tackler transfer portal to Ole Miss. Who do you think leads the team in tackles this year? And do you like our safety play? I've been hearing a little talk about that our safeties are going to be improved and maybe be one of our strengths on this defensive side. Do you think so?
Yeah, I'll start with that one first. I think the experience is good. I like Miguel Mitchell, who they brought in from Florida. Obviously, Slaughter, he can play the nickel. You can do a lot with Danico there. And Metcalf, the Metcalf brothers, I think we talked about them the last time I was on here, but I'm high on both of those guys. I think TJ, owning that safety spot on the back end. Yeah, I like the safeties. As far as leading tackler, I'd probably go with Brad Spence. I do think it's it's going to be a linebacker. You would hope anyway. I mean, it's you remember back in your day, Matt, some of the safeties used to lead tackles. That's not always the best.
No, we wanted Caleb Miller or Jermaine Petty.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So yeah, I would probably go with Spence just on a guess.
Tell me about Bridges. You know, I just can't imagine it's every year that the freshman cornerback can get in there and play some big moments. But, you know, then I remember, you know, how good Quincy McAdoo looked when he got out there right after switching positions as a freshman. So how good can Selman Bridges be as a freshman?
And Jalen last year too.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's possible. Obviously, they went down to Texas and got him, and big time get 6'3" corner. I mean, that's a conversation in and of itself. A lot of people feel differently. You know, nowadays, is that the best route, 6'3" guy, or do you like a smaller, you know, shiftier guy? So that's one topic. But based on what I saw in the spring, it just seemed like the two scrimmages really that I watched. You know, it was to be expected, but he looked like a true freshman at times. And obviously that's going to be the case, especially at corner. But, man, he's huge. There's a lot to like there. The question is, are those veteran guys going to let him sneak in as a true freshman? You know, how much is he needed this year? That's ultimately what it comes down to. And I think if I had to guess, Matt, I'd say he's probably going to play in more than 4 games and avoid a red shirt. I think they're going to lean on him a little bit, but I don't know that he has to be a guy that comes in and starts, if that makes sense.
Hey, go ahead.
Well, I was going to kind of go back to the running back and to that offensive side of the ball, and what's his name from Utah? What? Jaquindon Jackson. I'm a Jaquindon Jackson fan, no question about it. If we're looking for that change of pace, I know we brought this up earlier in the week, but kind of that third down back and being by committee, do you think it's Dubinion, or who do you think can be that change of pace, that other back that's complementary?
Yeah, I think they're a good combination. You know, you look at the size difference. Jaquindon's a big dude now. You know, I think they list him at 6'2". I'd give him 6'1", but he's 230 and, you know, yoked up. And, you know, Dubinion, obviously, he's around 200, somewhere in that range. So it's a little bit different, you know, in that, you know, with those two in particular. But now you throw in the new guy. I'm looking him up here. Tyrell Reed, of course, the Hutchinson JUCO transfer that they landed, you know, just earlier this year. He intrigues me, as well as Rodney Hill coming over from Florida State. He was more of a power guy too. He's kind of like R-Dub. He's around that 200 frame, but man, he'll run through you a little bit like Dennis Johnson. And so there's a little bit of variety in that group right now. But I'm with you, Matt. I'm on the Jaquindon Jackson train. I think he's from what I saw in the spring, man. I think he's a load. And we haven't even talked about Braylon. You know, the true freshman Braylon Russell. I felt like, and I think we may have even talked about it here on you guys' show, but, you know, I felt like maybe he was a little too big, but then you go out and watch him. They throw it to him in the flat, and he just runs over a guy. Nobody can bring him down in space, and you go, well, I guess it works for him. So maybe he's not too heavy, you know, as a true freshman. So, and there's a lot to like suddenly in that group. I know we all talk about losing Rocket, A.J. Green, of course. That's unfortunate what happened to A.J. going over to Oklahoma State, but you know, there was a lot to like about that group, and now suddenly it's reloaded, a few more question marks, but it seems like a really deep and talented, well-rounded group.
Is the kicking job is up for grabs, is it not? I mean, Shipley had a bad spring, didn't have a good spring game. Brought in Kyle Ramsey from Abilene Christian, got Vito Calvaruso back. You know, we remember him just from kickoffs, but you know, I think maybe I know I've overlooked it until it was brought up just recently about how good Cam Little was. And, you know, now he's on to the NFL. And heck, he had another kicker who's who's in the NFL too, and Jake Bates, 2 NFL kickers on the same team. And, you know, I mean, if you talk about close ball games, your kicker comes up pretty big. This is going to be up for grabs right now.
Yeah, and you know, kickers, Matt, I'm sure you could speak on it. They're a little bit different at times. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I can only imagine from his perspective. I mean, Shipley coming in, and, you know, it's tough to be the guy that follows the guy. And in my opinion, Cam Little goes down as arguably the greatest kicker in school history. So I'm sure that was a lot. And then first spring game, you're finally seeing, a few thousand fans in the crowd, all the pressure's on you. I'm just going to hope that was one bad outing, because evidently everybody I've talked to says, man, we did not see that all spring. And they think it was just one bad day, so I'm going to lean on that and hope that's the case.
Phil, I think they're like closers in baseball. The guy that's kind of just in between the ears because he has the talent. It's just you got to kind of figure it out there.
Yeah, but we talk so much about close games, Matt. I mean, we just talked about it. 1-5 in one-score games last year. I mean, a lot of these games are going to be the same way this year, and every point matters as we've seen.
Danny, we've been kicking around the idea of recruiting in the state of Texas.
No pun intended.
Right. Yeah, not really, but you picked up on it immediately. There are 31 players from the state of Texas on the Arkansas roster right now. Looks like only 3 in the commit in the group of 16 commits for the 2025 class. Just a straight up question here about it. Does Arkansas recruit Texas enough? Do they need to recruit it harder?
Sure. Yeah, I thought before this class, but I may be off there. But, either way, to answer your question, it's been interesting to me, Phil, just going back over the last 20 years, back when Matt was around campus, and I'm sure he could speak on it too, but Coach Nutt would sign a minimum of 8 guys a year out of Texas. And here lately, over the last, 12, 15 years, ever since kind of the midway point of Bobby's tenure there, they've only averaged about 4 a year out of Texas. And, you think back to 2022 cycle, they only signed 1 guy out of Texas. That just sticks out to me, and you go, man, you're Arkansas and you're only getting 1 guy. Now, they followed up the following year with 5. I think they had 3 last year, already got 4 for this year. I think they're about to get a 5th coming up here real soon. Just throw a name at you. Nigel Pringle is a name to keep an eye on at cornerback. Wouldn't surprise me if he's their 5th out of Texas for this year's class. But to answer your question, Phil, it's surprising to me that maybe it's dropped off to the point that it has. I mean, there's a whole another conversation about Texas A&M and the impact that it had coming in to the conference, and now what happens with Texas coming over. How does that balance out and kind of maybe take away from what A&M's been able to do in that race? Because Oklahoma comes in too, and for a while, guys, when they were all 3 in the same conference, you look at who won the state of Texas. Most of the time, it went Texas. Oklahoma was second, more times than not over even A&M. And then A&M was dragging up the rear in its own state, losing players to Oklahoma. So it begs the question, does that happen again now that all 3 are again in the same league? And I bring that up to say this. What's good for Texas in that case is bad for A&M, which I think could be good for Arkansas, because as we've seen, A&M has gone 11-1 against Arkansas ever since, it came into the conference. And you look at the 37 meetings before that, Arkansas won 27 of them. So, I think what's bad for A&M is always good for Arkansas, so maybe we hang our hat on that for a little bit.
Danny, we're right up against a break, so we'll leave it there. Appreciate you coming on with us. It's always great to talk with you. Thanks a lot.
You got it, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.
Danny West from hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, with us here on Halftime. 877-377-6963 if you want to react to that conversation. If you just log on with us, we'll have it on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. And Halftime is back right after this.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime.
ESPN Arkansas is kicking off college football live from Radio Row in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Our shows provide insight on player and coach interviews, including special moments throughout the entire week. Make sure to tune in to The Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach to get this unique coverage presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, WT Equipment, and Limbird Real Estate Group. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Cool down with hot deals at the Burton Pools and Spas Summer Clearance. Get a high-quality above-ground pool installed for just $57 a month. Enjoy up to $1,000 off in stock Doughboy above-ground pools. Considering an in-ground pool, our stunning fiberglass pool started under $48,000. And don't miss our biggest discount of the year on hot tubs, where you can save up to $7,300. These offers won't last long, so visit Burton Pools and Spas today. At Burton, we do more than build pools. We build long-term relationships.
This is halftime.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles. 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,500 in discounts and financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit. Plus, get state sales tax paid on all remaining 2023 models in stock. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away. You know you done me wrong, baby. be sorry someday.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
We had our first qualifier for the football trip of a lifetime yesterday at the Phoenix Avenue location, Hardee's in Fort Smith. Seaburger was in attendance for it. Seaburger, did anybody finish the Monster Burger in 150 seconds?
We had two guys, two friends, both named Dylan, spelled exactly the same way. They both completed the challenge.
Impressive.
It got kind of close at the end. He had to shove a pretty big piece in his mouth in order to complete it, but they did it.
So you're the judge when it comes to this too, right? Are you the judge that makes sure that you've got to swallow the last bite or just get that last bite in your mouth?
I'm videoing and kind of, cheering them on or whatever, and Lance is the guy that keeps up with the time, and so he's really good at telling them, you better hurry. He actually told the guy, he's like, you better shove that in your mouth, because the guy was kind of taking his time there at the end, kind of being slow, but he got it all in. And we got two guys yesterday that completed the Monster Burger Challenge. Come on out and give it a try.
When's the next contest?
The next contest is on Tuesday. We'll be at the Rogers Avenue location from 11 to 1.
They got Shane Lowry right now, 7 under. He's the Irishman. Justin Rose, man, that's the guy. I'd watch out for Justin Rose. He's at 5 under right now in the clubhouse. I like both those guys over the weekend. It doesn't look like Tiger's going to make the cut. Cut right now is at +5. Doesn't look like Rory's going to make the cut. So, it'll be an interesting weekend.
It's already an interesting weekend. I think my connection is back here. The internet is really a mess. This outage, which I know was fixed, 4 hours ago? It's still getting ripples going through here. I couldn't hear a word you guys were saying there for about 3 or 4 minutes. But I think everything's back in working order for right now. This makes me a little bit nervous for flying later on today. Everything's connected to the internet, everything. So it looks like we're still on to be on time anyway. Well, we do have more Hardee's Thick Burger contests coming up soon. Again, this is for the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime. Cowboys Eagles in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. We got 2 qualifying rounds next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday back at the Rogers Avenue location in Fort Smith. Thursday we're going to be in Sallisaw at Hardee's for the lunch qualifiers. Again, if you finish your Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, then you have a reserved seat in the finals. Those will be on August the 24th. And should be a lot of fun. Don't forget about the $1.49 sausage biscuits going on right now at all Fort Smith and Sallisaw Hardee's locations. And if you look for more information about our 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, you can go to hitthatline.com.
Hardee's biscuits are the best, man.
I know. Every day I talk with Matt in the morning. We have a phone call, and
I had to go today. Well, I don't go every day, but I'm about a once a month I'll go to Hardee's just to savor it. It's just an egg and cheese biscuit, real simple.
You're a biscuit guy too. That's your morning thing is the biscuit.
Eggs. You know how they have all these studies that you'll read something in a Men's Health, or I don't even know if people read stuff. I guess you get everything on your Wi-Fi that seems to be. I wonder if this NCAA game has anything to do with the Wi-Fi. But you get these studies that say, oh, you should eat 2 eggs a day. Oh, no, you should eat 2 eggs a week. It's like I think eggs.
Oh, yeah, like how many ounces of water per day, and then you're told, well, if you drink to that much, you might actually be losing some of your nutrients too. That's why
As long as you cook them. I can't do the just put them in the cup, the raw egg. Have you done that
eggs?
before?
Oh, I can't do
Yeah, I can't do that.
I think they were probably some massive amounts of salmonella poisoning right after Rocky came out. I mean, I think a lot of people were trying to do that thing. You're not supposed to eat raw eggs. Now, there's some people that can pull it off. I'm not going to be one of them, even if my body could handle it, because I'm just never going to try it. So, there would be like eating snot, for crying out loud. And the only snot you're eating is your own. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Quick break. Hopefully the internet continues to work, at least as it did for the last 60 seconds. We'll wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
This is halftime.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy. Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barlin.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. Fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. You know the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. You know I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. You know the night's magic seems to whisper. You know the soft moonlight seems to shine. You blush,
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Want to make sure we wish a happy birthday to the one and only Quinn Grovey today, QB4. I don't know how old he is, but he does have a birthday today, so congratulations for that. Ozark Bob texted in. He has his dad used to eat raw hamburger with raw onion and put raw egg chasers in with his Strohs. You need a chaser with Strohs. I didn't realize that raw egg could be one of them. I know I've eaten raw hamburger and onion before. I know I've talked about this before on the show, that my family's, when I was growing up, my family's traditional Super Bowl meal, we must have been the only people that ate this as a traditional Super Bowl meal, would have been a Caesar salad that was made with dressing that was made with a raw egg and tartar steak, which is hamburger meat cured in all sorts of things that aren't, not cooking it with heat. So... yeah, now I think we just go with pizza and wings, just like everybody else. But
you gotta have. Did y'all do any anchovy sauce of some kind in your Caesar dressing?
Absolutely. There was a lot of anchovy involved on the salad and in the tartar steak.
That's if you have a Caesar salad dressing without anchovy, you're not doing it right.
Exactly. So you're not one of these people that doesn't like anchovies. Like Billy Crystal once described anchovies as that's like eating an eyebrow. I'm not like that. And if that's like it, then I like eyebrows. I'm perfectly okay with eating salty eyebrows in that case.
I like capers too. Those are some salty olives. You start getting in a Bill Parm or whatever, Marsala, Bill Marsala with some caper sauce. Ooh, some capers.
Hey, one of my favorite things. Now I know I'm headed back home today, back home to Pittsburgh. Got my son with me. We're going back to the Berg, then New York City, then Cooperstown. So I texted my father. He's picking us up. We're supposed to get in by 9:30 at night, and I asked for Minio's Pizza, which is now my new favorite neighborhood pizza. It overtook Aiello's a few years ago. Minio's is one of these places that puts you can't call it toppings because they put the toppings underneath the cheese. So it's kind of like the cheese is the blanket and the toppings are the people that are sleeping. But I also know that in that house, there's always anchovy fillets. You know those tins that you'll open up? There's anchovy fillets in there, and that means I can put at 10 o'clock at night, heck, we probably won't make it back until 10:30. I will eat 4 slices of anchovy-riddled pepperoni pizza where the anchovies will be on top of the cheese, but the cheese is going to be on top of the pepperoni. It just all seems backwards.
Man, that's New York or Chicago. When you start talking about pizza capital of United States of America, I slightly tend to favor New York over Chicago. I know Chicago's got the deep, too. Yeah, like you're kind of talking a little bit about, but the deep dish has a purpose. There's some times, but I think I'm a New York guy.
Well, when we head to Manhattan, I mean, there's certain things you got to eat when you get to Manhattan, and it's all going to be stuff that you buy on the street. Although Famous Original Rays and Famous Rays, I don't think they have any street carts. It's just all storefronts. So you got to walk into a store for that, but then you got to get the dog on the street and then the knish with the pretzel, and they just tell you it's something about the New York water. Just the perfect amount of chlorine in that water just leads to the absolute best pretzel dough. I get who realized that chlorined pretzel dough was actually a thing. So yeah, it'll be an anchovy sort of a night. I'm pretty fired up about that.
You know what C Unit's fired up about?
Huh?
The golden hour.
The second half of Fight Club.
He hadn't even stopped talking about it since we got here today.
The golden hour of Fight Club.
No, he's over Fight Club.
No, I'm not. I hadn't even got
you
to
must have been over Fight Club. He fell asleep halfway through.
I hadn't even got to the good stuff yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. So what time did you put this movie
I
in?
made sure I fell asleep before it got interesting.
Smart.
Yeah, good move. Good move. You're going to have to watch it twice over the weekend, okay? Because you already forgot the first half. 877-377-6963 to get with us. We're going to make Brandon throw up if we're talking about anchovies. So what if I brought up cilantro? Are you one of these people that can't stand cilantro
I love
either?
cilantro.
It's like the same amount of people that can't stand cilantro also don't like the word moist. There's people throwing up all across our listening audience now. Golden hour of halftime right after this.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
This ad is for the paint store in Van Buren. I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So for football, you need a team. For painting, you might need a primer, the perfect color, maybe a top coat, and bug juice to keep the spiders and bugs away, right? So it takes a team of products to make the winning paint job. The right place for that is in Van Buren at the paint store, and the right place for certified grass-fed beef from M&M Farms in Rudy. That's right, all at 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the low to mid 80s, mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low in the low 60s. Saturday, blue skies, sunshine. Our high on Saturday in the low to mid 80s, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms again on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 41 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It is the third hour of Friday. It is the golden hour, and we have you for another 60 minutes before Ruskin and Zach can take over. So I've forgotten the things that I could have done. I guess I could take my shoes off. Supposed to be flying to Pittsburgh later on. Hope nobody on that flight has their shoes off. Can unbuckle the belt one extra notch and just kind of lay it all out here for the next 60 minutes. We're feeling good. It's been a good week. Media days, entertaining to a point. I still say my favorite part of media days was the interaction on ESPN on the Feinbaum show with Lane Kiffin and Paul Feinbaum. Did I play that for you, Matt? Did you get a chance to listen to this at all?
I have not heard it.
I think it's worth the minute and 20 seconds.
Let's do it.
Of our time here. Because you actually have to. Well, let's just play this and we'll react to it. It was fun.
I'll steal your line, but I was going through deep depression over this incorrect guilt that you tried to lay on me, which preceded that move. Had something to do with Southern California.
Oh, yeah. When you got me fired at USC, I got myself fired at USC, but you didn't help.
It's a better story if I got you fired.
You really did. Because it is a true story that the athletic director and the president were on that trip. We were playing that night, and you were on College Game Day, and you had to make your big splash, and they were watching it, because I know the other person in the room that was watching it with them, and you said what a joke I was, and I'm the Miley Cyrus of college football coaching, and I should be fired, and they looked at each other, and later that night I was fired.
By the way.
But hey, look what happened. I would have never gotten to work for Coach Saban. All these other things wouldn't happen, so I appreciate you for helping getting me fired. Thank you.
Look at what you're doing today. You're predicted to go to the playoffs. And look at Miley Cyrus. She's had a nice comeback.
So you're wrong on that. I mean, you put me down with that. So really, I don't really know what you're good at. Like you predicted that Coach Saban was done. That didn't happen. You basically said Miley Cyrus stinks, and she's still going.
Yeah. Anyway, it's always great to be ridiculed by Lane Kiffin here at SEC Meet.
It's just 80 seconds worth, but and I know it takes a moment or so to get to the punchline, but when Kiffin says to him, "I just don't really know what you're good at," I couldn't hold the laughter in.
That was definitely worth it. That was funny.
I thought that was the best moment of media days. Really, wasn't anything a coach said on the stand or on the microphone, outside of Taylor Green and Andrew Armstrong arguing about who's a better bowler. Or what constitutes actually a final score in the EA Sports college football video game. I thought that was the most entertaining moment. Enjoyed it for sure. I also see, so this just coming out here from Jack Allen, who is a reporter at KATV Channel 7 in Little Rock, speaking with John Calipari. You know, today's the day where they're doing the coach clinic or the Razorback clinic at Russellville, in Russellville. I'm pretty sure it's at Russellville High School. So that's a satellite camp. And Cal said, I mean, they're going to get all around the state. And I don't think he just means him. He means the team, the players, the coaching staff, and not just for recruiting purposes. Calipari has told Jack Allen that the Razorbacks are working on scheduling preseason scrimmages in Hot Springs and Pine Bluff. So, I mean, that's some barnstorming stuff right there, and get a chance to, kind of, it's not the four corners, but it's certainly getting out of Fayetteville much more often than I've seen any Arkansas basketball program since I've lived here.
so much basketball talent in this state, and I don't just mean talented summer players or can go overseas. I mean NBA elite talent. The NBA is littered with guys from Arkansas. You think of Bobby Portis and winning a title. Malik Monk up there. I know he went to Kentucky, but he's an Arkansas kid, and I saw Patrick Beverly was still doing it, man. They're just you got the guys at Oklahoma City.
You see, Beverly signed with an Israeli team.
Yeah, he signed that. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, he's been playing for, I don't know, 13, 14 years. When he left early, he was a year and a half and done or 2 and done here at Arkansas.
But didn't he start his career overseas too? I forget where it was.
Yep.
Turkey.
That's because I thought, man, why is he going early? But it was before the NIL. Maybe that's a kid now that would have stayed around a little bit longer up there if they were getting paid then.
Yeah, but there's somebody that's also, I guess, in some way, like almost returning to his professional basketball roots. I don't know if Israel would be. I know that they love basketball in Israel, and there have been plenty of good players that have gone over to play there, but I don't know if Beverly ever did. But international basketball, that's a guy that you're going to have to pull the basketball shoes off of his cold dead feet, before he ever gives it up himself.
And you see Nick Smith Jr. Showing out in summer league. Hopefully, if he can get healthy, he's going to have a spot. The dude is he's a bona fide scorer.
But I also love the thought of this year's Arkansas basketball team scrimmaging, and I guess I don't know if it's scrimmages against another program. I'm assuming it's intra-squad scrimmages that they would be doing, because the only other time that they've played a scrimmage that wasn't inside Bud Walton Arena has been the red-white game. In the last 2-3 years, they've done the red-white game in Barnhill. I know the women's basketball team has done some closed-door scrimmages, but it's either been in Bud Walton Arena or, like when they scrimmaged Kansas, I think this last year, the year before, it was at Fog Allen Fieldhouse, but it was closed door, no fans, no media. This is a different thing. This is like barnstorming to other parts of the state. I mean, they have a perfectly good basketball arena in Hot Springs where they've hosted the state championships forever, and the Sun Belt tournament was there for a long time. Pine Bluff, I don't know the state of the convention center. I've been to the basketball gym where UAPB plays. Would that be where Arkansas would scrimmage? That's a smaller place. I would imagine the convention center would fit a little bit better. But the baseball team kind of did this. Gosh, I think this was 2018, the first year that they could do a team exhibition against another team, and they played in Little Rock against UALR. So I really do like that idea. If you get fans all over the state, this is a chance to connect with them where they don't have to put in, so much effort. They don't have to make the drive up to Fayetteville, or really even, I don't know if there are admission fees for these sort of scrimmages or not. I know today with the Calipari camp, there's a fee because it's a basketball camp. For the scrimmage, I don't know, but it would. It's reaching out, instead of saying, "Hey, we're up here in Fayetteville and we're practicing and we're scrimmaging and you can come see us." It's the team reaching out, and I think this is right in the Calipari playbook. I think he did this in Kentucky too, Matt. I think it makes sense.
Yes, I'm with it. Keep this in-state. There's a lot of. You think in these next 2, 3, 4 years, there's a lot of in-state talent here. You'd like to see some of that play up there on the Hill.
So this just coming out again from Jack Allen from KATV. He continued that this is in the early stages. There are still NCAA rules on scrimmages. So, and I know Dave Van Horn had mentioned, I think the last time he spoke to the media, that they would be able sometime soon to detail, and I think he'd use the word scrimmage, that would be played, I don't think on campus, but somewhere else. So we've got some of those announcements to come up sometime soon. And hey, it's not regular season stuff. It's not the kind of thing where you're like, all right, this is a big game or anything. But I think it's an opportunity to kind of parade your program around a state that you can parade it around. This doesn't work in every state, and I don't necessarily feel like it would work very much if you're taking, like Mizzou all around the state of Missouri. I mean, that is a state with major league teams. I think in Arkansas would fit really, really well. Hey, don't forget about Cart Path Social. It's Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. $50 per hour for a bay, and the bay cost covers as many people as you want, up to 6. Basically takes about an hour to play 18 holes. Bring your own beer. They do have basic snacks and beverages available for sale. You can bring your own food in to eat as well. And since it's BYOB, bring beer or seltzers. Can't bring any other kind of alcoholic beverages in. Don't need to be wearing golf attire. They have monthly memberships available, and that is Cart Path Social. They're in Lowell, 122 Grant Place, 479-619-9750 to learn more about Cart Path Social, Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen stops by halftime right after this.
This is halftime. Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit #2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swart Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swart Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swart Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swart Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas.
I ride to give word the war is over. Send my cinders home to mother. They gave me a medal for my valor. Let them trumpets spit the soot of power. They say your side when nobody is, 'cause nobody is. Sit right here and sleep while I slip poison in your ear. We are waiting on the telegram to talk. I'm sorry to report, dear Paris is burning her.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed to the hotline. Neil Atkinson is with us here from BetSaracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Make sure you are inside the state of Arkansas. Got to be within the borders. They know exactly where you're located because you can't use BetSaracen outside the borders of the state of Arkansas. Works on your Apple iPhone, Google, Android, any web browser, BetSaracen.com. Good afternoon, Neil. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great being able to walk outside and not immediately start melting. I mean, if we could just keep it like a day like today, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. But hey, it's Friday, it's the golden hour, and a lot of sports coming up.
Yeah, I mean, today you get the second half of the Major League Baseball season underway. Feels like football season is kind of here now that SEC Media Days has concluded. Got the preseason poll out. I wonder, do you ever see correlations between the way that the preseason poll comes out for any of the leagues and the way that some of your sports bettors, do their preseason prop bets?
Oh yeah, SEC Media Days always bring a surge of betting, and one of the biggest topics this week, and one of the most active future bets is the over and under on the amount of Arkansas wins this year, and again, it's set at a mathematical model at 4.5, and that's just where the math sets. And I can't go off market. I mean, I'm not going to make it higher, and because I've got to remain competitive with my lines. But with the SEC Media Days, there's a lot of talk that if a couple of things can go right, people are saying that 7 wins is possible if you can get the balls to bounce the right way. I think last year they had 3 games that were 1-score games last year, and that would have made the difference last year. And that's the hottest bet right now is the over and under on the season wins for Arkansas at 4.5. And to be honest with you, as long as you don't hurt me too bad, that's one bet that I actually hope I get to pay out later on this year.
That's right, because that means you've got happy customers, basically, because they're mostly Razorback fans. Another event this weekend is the WNBA All-Star Game. That is tomorrow, and it's such an interesting format with the American Olympic team taking on the WNBA All-Stars. And, man, I mean, there's just a lot of backstories that go into these two teams matching up against each other. And with the popularity and surge in women's basketball, and you've talked about how that's translated onto the app, do you think you get much action out of the WNBA All-Star Game?
Yeah. Well, this year is just different. I expect to see more, but do I think it's going to be, Major League Baseball All-Star Game numbers? No, because there's a lot more sporting events going on a Saturday. Whereas really, if you look at Monday, really all you had was the All-Star Derby. The Home Run Derby, and then you had the All-Star Game on Tuesday. And baseball fans are loyal. And you saw some of that traffic move over to the WNBA and to the NBA Summer League. But, this is traditionally for American-facing sports the slowest week of the year of the All-Star break. But it's going to be interesting to see with all that has been going on with the WNBA, and I'm just going to have to wait and see. Last year, it didn't even hit the board as far as any interest. This year, it's going to be great to see what the difference is, and when we get all of those lines out, it's going to be fun to see the bet ticker to see what happens, especially right before the game tips off.
Biggest event this weekend is already underway in the second round of the Open Championship at Royal Troon. It's not in the States, but this is also, I know golf can be very popular, especially when it comes to the majors. Are people very active on the Open Championship on Bet Saracen?
Yeah, they are, especially with baseball. With the All-Star break this weekend, people were looking for things to bet, and we saw a bigger uptick on the Open this year, and we did a much better job this year at doing some live betting on the featured groups as they were progressing through the play. Now, the tough part of it is they start teeing off at 12:30 a.m. our time, in the morning. So if people are going to make those bets, before the match starts, before each round, you got to get those in, late tonight, for round 3. But we saw a nice little uptick this morning on golf. I mean, we took some nice action. Actually, I'm looking at today's numbers for what we did on the golf, and almost every bit of this action were those featured pairings playing hole by hole. So, there's definitely interest in that. And, the British Open is just one of the 4 majors. People are naturally going to watch it and going to bet it, especially the diehard fans.
So you and I were texting earlier today, and I don't know if we'd brought up betting on the presidential election. I know we've asked about like award shows and things like that. That's a little difficult to be able to put money on. I don't think you guys put odds on that, but there were sports. I guess it has to be sports books or casinos that had odds on the presidential election. Bet Saracen not one of them, and now it looks like nobody's going to do this for good reason too.
Yeah, I mean, our regulations strictly prohibited betting on political outcomes. Now, it's been a tradition over in Europe, and even some of the major operators had some markets up in Canada where it is allowed. And we've got a few, we had a few people ask us why we don't do that. But I think if you look at the events over the last week, over the last 14 days, and just political discourse and all, a lot of us watch sports, so we don't, because we don't like politics getting into our sports, and intertwining that with the sports betting app, it's just not good. And I think, with what has happened, I am glad I am not in that business. We're not looking to get in that business. And I think this is a good example on why you don't do that, because there's a lot of emotions in sports, but it's fan based, But when you throw politics in there, it's a different level of emotions, and people putting money where their emotions usually is not a good idea. Although a lot of sports bettors do it, but especially on politics and with the discourse that's involved. Thank goodness we're not in that business, and I don't have to navigate any of that. And I think you can see now why it was wise to have that in the regulations, not to allow that type of betting.
You'd also made me aware of a conference that was ongoing over the last few days about the National Council of Legislators from Gaming States, of which Arkansas certainly is one of them. Is this a lobbying organization? And tell me about what this organization is about.
Well, these are our regulators. They are the ones that hold the sports books accountable for their operation policies, and also that we operate and within the parameters we're allowed to operate in, and generate the tax revenue that goes, that is the main reason why we're allowed to operate these. So operators typically, do not go to there, but we closely watch because we want to know what the regulators are thinking, what the industry is thinking, because, when they tell us we got to do something, we don't have a choice. We have to do it. and there's a lot of good points that are brought up, and because of conferences like this are very, very important because it holds us accountable, and the regulator is there to protect the public and also, you know, the public interest and the revenue that is supposed to be generated off of it, and that just goes to show you why you always want to bet on a legal regulated site, because you have those protections, and we are forced to operate within these parameters, and if anybody goes rogue, they're called down pretty quick or they're held accountable. You know, that doesn't necessarily happen on these offshore and these illegal sites, and there's been some pretty crazy stuff that's happened over the years, you know, with offshore or illegal betting.
Neil, it feels like football season is here now that SEC Media Days are complete, but we still have well more than a month. But I know it's already been an active off season, just because, you know, football is always going to carry the day, and that might be no matter what time of the year it is. Does the volume really start to pick up right about now that SEC Media Days are complete and we get into August? And I mean, football's starting to really be in the forefront of people's minds.
Well, really, the kickoff is the Hall of Fame game. And this year it's going to be August 1st, and I'm glad to see it August 1st. Last year, I think it was August the 6th, and I think Leapier helped us get it on the 1st of August. But yeah, that's when you see, you know, football on TV. You know, the NFL presence is there, and then that's about the time where you're going to see all of your news stories, and we're going to talk about, you know, all of the fall camps starting and getting ready for the start of the season. You know, and I know everybody's got August 29th, you know, that are Arkansas fans, you know, their first game with UAPB, and being a casino in Pine Bluff, you know, we've got Arkansas and Pine Bluff. They're going to play there in Little Rock, and that's going to be good. And just college football is just a magical time of year, and just football in general is, and it will really, really start in earnest August the 1st when we get those first games on TV. And then the rest of the preseason games start. And as all the media reports come out, what's happening in the camps. And, you know, there's a lot of eyes on Arkansas. There's a lot of changes since last year. And people want more. And we hope to see, you know, like I said, I hope to pay out that over 4.5 on Arkansas wins this year. And because everybody starts off the season with the same record. And we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a magical year, because like we've never seen before with the level of competition and the matchups that we have week after week after week.
Neil, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Have a great weekend.
All right, everybody, make sure you keep sports betting fun and entertaining. Bet with your head and not over it. And, as always, good luck on your parlays, because, boy, our Bet Saracen bettors love to bet their parlays, and with that 10% parlay boost, they really hit us up pretty hard on that. So good luck on all of those.
Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. We're into the home stretch of the golden hour. You can call us. You can text us, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
This is Halftime.
ESPN Arkansas is kicking off college football live from Radio Row in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Our shows provide insight on player and coach interviews, including special moments throughout the entire week. Make sure to tune in to the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach to get this unique coverage presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, WT Equipment, and Limbird Real Estate Group. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's website's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479 Stadium or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. If you need to, you can shop us online at them Gram thing.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Get the hottest deals of the year on your next Arctic Cat during the Green Tag Sales Event at Adventure, Oklahoma, at Auto Finders, Highway 64 in Roland. Save up to $2,500 on select off-road Arctic Cat vehicles in stock. Financing available, but hurry, this event ends soon. Get an Arctic Cat now at Adventure, Oklahoma, at Auto Finders, Highway 64 in Roland. See autofindersok.com.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Singers, we got golden fingers, and we're loved everywhere we go. We sing about beauty and we sing about truth at $10,000 a show. We take all kind of pills to give us all kind of thrills, but the thrill we never know. It's the thrill that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, back on halftime as we get you into the home stretch of the golden hour. And I'm trying to rebook a flight. At the same time, we'll do these last 25 minutes. This internet outage is causing major issues, and that's also canceled our first flight today. So knew something like that would happen when you wake up and you're like, all right, there's 19,000 flights that have been delayed or canceled, and turns out it's more than that, and ours is one of them today too. So This probably would have been the case whether it was
Didn't this happen?
any kind of airline travel.
When I was it this first year when I was on the show and y'all were going to go to Chicago, but then y'all went to New Orleans instead?
That was because of a winter storm.
Okay, but travel plans got changed again, huh? Yeah,
They always seem to get changed when
Yeah.
it comes to regular kind of flights on commercial airlines. But yeah, rebooking airline flights and hosting sports radio at the same time is a little bit difficult, but we're finding a way to pull it off one way or the other. We're supposed to be in Cooperstown, New York, a week from today. Should be there Thursday and Friday, and are all set up to host halftime from the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This weekend is induction weekend. Matt, you got 4 new Hall of Famers that are being inducted as part of the class of 2024. Adrian Beltre.
Was he a number 8? Did he ever wear number 8?
I'm going to look that
I'm
up
gonna have
for
to
you,
look at-
because that goes along
maybe
with
for
something
the-
going on in sports today, too.
I'll look
doesn't it?
that up. Maybe for the Rangers, for some reason, I'm thinking he was 8 for them.
You know, I'm never good with the uniform numbers. No, I never wore. He was
Oh.
number 29.
Okay.
He's 29. So, yeah, Beltre's going in. I think he's an all-time great third baseman. Great in the field, great at the plate, power hitter, and played with a certain sort of, just a certain kind of an energy that was a lot of fun. Todd Helton's going into the Hall of Fame. I
Number 17?
believe he's the second Hall of Famer to come out of the SEC. Also, of course, he played at Tennessee, and Frank Thomas would be the other. Joe Mauer going into the Hall of Fame. Mauer has won more batting titles than any other catcher in the history of the game, and Jim Leland is going into the Hall of Fame. And that means something for me because I grew up with Leland managing the Pirates, and it wasn't just his time with the Pirates that would have gotten him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he won a World Series with the Marlins. He got the Tigers to the World Series a couple of times. The Rockies were his – that was the team that he went to after the Marlins, left the Rockies, and then revived his career after working for the Cardinals as a scout back with the Tigers. And man, I loved Leland. He's such a smart baseball man. But I wonder if he would even be hired in today's day and age of baseball managers. You know, he was, I mean, he used the word old school and it gets thrown around a little bit too much, but Leland was old school. You know, he was old school, but I think he was also a guy that he thought a little bit differently than most managers of his time. And, hey, I think you even brought it up, I think last week or the week before, just a really famous video that you can find on YouTube of him just digging into Barry Bonds at spring training when Bonds was giving him attitude and he wasn't going to take it. And, I mean, by that point, Bonds had won at least one Most Valuable Player award, and Leland kind of, I think, utilized not as an example, but I think the rest of that team really appreciated that. So I'm fired up for Leland to get in there, and I'm glad that they're inducting him while he's alive.
Yeah, you know, as other players see that, you know, if you're coaching the best player hard, and then no one's exempt. There was a manager, I want to say he was a first base or third base coach when I was watching that documentary that started with the New York Yankees before 95. It was like 88 to 94, and he said if you're going to be a clown, you better be as talented as Barry Bonds. That was, you can only have room for one clown, but he better be Barry Bonds.
Yeah, and Bonds to this day.
But I think he matured, don't you think?
Yes.
Like he maybe when he was younger, but then he kind of matured and was.
But he loved Leland too. You know, that was the thing. I don't know if he felt like he could take advantage of him or if he was just, you know, kind of feeling his head at that moment. But he always expressed nothing but respect and love for Jim Leland. He managed him when he was a rookie. I mean, Leland's first year as the Pirates manager, I think it was the first year that that Bonds came up, would have been Bonds' rookie season. So I think he must have felt a kinship, dealing with that. And I had a chance to thank Leland myself for his years with the Pirates. Never forget this either. I interned for the Pirates as a media relations intern in '96. That was Leland's last year managing Pittsburgh. The next year, he took the Marlins to a World Series championship. And, yeah, he'd already announced that he was leaving the Pirates because they weren't going to spend money. And the last home game, I think this actually coincided with the actual game that the Cardinals clinched the 96 National League Central. Of course, La Russa's managing them then. The two of them are great friends. I mean, Leland worked for La Russa with the White Sox. And, there was this big to-do after the game. The Cardinals win, and they're celebrating their championship. But all the Pirates fans stuck around to give Leland a big ovation. And we walked off the field, and he's crying, and I kept score with a very special scorecard of that game. My father was a huge fan of Leland. So, I'm not an autograph guy. Like, I do not ask for autographs. In that case, I went and asked for an autograph for my father from Jim Leland in the clubhouse after the game. I asked my boss, I was like, my dad would love something like this. This would be really cool. He says, just go in there and ask him for it. And I'm 19 years old, and I interacted with Leland just very rarely that year, and I was so intimidated by him, and I was already taller than him at the age of 19. I'll never forget it. Walk into the coach's office. All of his other coaches are there. Leland's got tears that had just come out of his eyes after he was as emotional of a person as it comes to. And I walked up to him and I said, "This is for my father. I mean, we're huge fans of yours. If you might not mind signing that." And he starts signing it. And it was that moment I thought to myself, this is your chance to, if you're going to see this man again. I thanked him. I said, I want to thank you for your time managing this team. You managed the team. You took over when I was when I was 9 years old. I'm 19 now. I feel like I owe you a little bit for my love of baseball. And thank you for turning the Pirates into a great team for at least 3 years. Those weren't all the words, but that was the sentiment. And he's in his chair and he stands up. He looks me right in the eye and he shook my hand and he said, "Thank you very much." And it was the look in his eye that I thought to myself, I think I might have actually, he heard what I was saying. There's somebody that to me was a moment I'll never forget. My dad's got it framed, in his whatever you say the man cave is at home. So initially our whole plan was to see Leland get inducted into the Hall of Fame, but we've got other things we're supposed to be doing this weekend and couldn't pull it off. So congratulations to Jim Leland to get into the Hall of Fame. And I feel like that's an experience, like being able to thank the man that is seriously, if the Pirates weren't any good in those years, would I have really wanted to get into baseball? I felt like that was a moment that not everybody gets a chance to take advantage of. Was there a coach, growing? I guess it'd be your dad, Matt. If you talk about a coach that would be partially responsible for your love of the sport, it would be your dad. I think a lot of fans here, feel that way about Houston Nutt in some case. I think a lot of fans feel that way about Dave Van Horn. Just imagine the opportunity to, thank that person and get a sense that they really hear what you're saying, for your love of that sport. 877-377-6963 if you have any remembrances about that. Cecil's here on hold with us. Cecil, appreciate your phone call. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? I was just listening in on football season's about to start, and some have confidence, some don't. And I was just looking over the schedule from last year. I mean, man, we really lost some close games, and the screws was loose. I'm sure they're getting tight. And Alabama, they beat us by 3. Mississippi State, we lost by 4. Ole Miss, we lost by a touchdown. I mean, it's a lot of games we could have won. So, and then Oklahoma State, I think we're going to be okay. I really do. I mean, I don't think we're going to win a lot of games. I could see us winning at least 6 games. It could be 7, but you never know. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to have OU and Texas in the SEC because that's hell of a conference, man. Hell of a conference, and baby NFL. but I'm excited, man. I mean, I live for the game. I do, man, and I listen to y'all every day, and I appreciate y'all sharing it every day. And I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna get back to work and I'm gonna listen to y'all.
All right, Cecil, have a good rest of the day at work and a great weekend. Appreciate that very much. Feel like that's where most fans might be right about where Cecil was. And we've had textures come in. Some are picking 4-8. Some are thinking 8-4. Some are thinking even 9 wins. I have a sense that most fans are looking, probably in the middle of that.
Man, I can't wait, Phil. Week 2, Stillwater. It's we'll get little snippets when they're at camp and you'll see some stuff, but really it's you're all preparing for week 1 to be fun. We should move nice. It should be a nice win and hopefully you get healthy, you stay healthy out of that game and learn some stuff and then week 2, I mean that should tell you a little bit if this team's going to go bowling or not.
We'll be back. We'll wrap up halftime for the week right after this quick break.
This is halftime.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season, and with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,500 in discounts and financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit. Plus, get state sales tax paid on all remaining 2023 models in stock. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Draw sketches that you say the bottom line climbing, jumping up, top is top. I don't wanna eat it, need it, no, we're supposed to feed it, leave it, beat it, just keep it in the box. What easy used to be what love used to be what drugs used to be what TV used to be what.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we can wrap things up here on Halftime. I tell you what, I rebooked the flight as quickly as I possibly could. Well, it looks like we might actually be able to get in to where we needed to get in. Adventure when it comes to travel. And before the flight even occurs, it's already a lot of adventure. Oh, and look at this. I had to rebook on a different airline, on a totally different airline, and end up, I told you, with Southwest, you want to be in the B section. That's that's the sweet spot. Everybody had to rebook so quickly. I got C. But they're not, so I'm going to the 12-year-old. They're not going to separate me from a 12-year-old, right?
You
from my
actually
son.
get 12 and under. You can get A if you want it.
Good, because I feel like we're owed a little bit
Be
of
the last group of A.
I feel like we're owed a little bit of convenience today, just a tiny little bit. But there's probably millions of other people out there that feel the exact same way from all of this crazy adventure. Not the fun kind of adventure either. It's so somebody will tell you that, it'll be an adventure. Doesn't that sound like fun, being an adventure, commercial airline travel these days? Nah. Adventures, I think, are supposed to be a good time. I wouldn't say this necessarily is a good time. But yeah, we might make it home. We might make it where we need to be. And then I get back with you guys on Thursday from Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame.
Well,
I don't know where they're going to have us set up. It'll be inside the Hall of Fame, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm pretty jealous, Phil. Y'all are gonna have a great time, and you. The thing I guess the most is this food desert I live in. You're gonna be around some exquisite cuisine. It's gonna be fun for you.
We got reservations. I think there's going to be a lot of steak eating while we're in Manhattan. Steak, pizza, various forms of dough that we can buy on the street, a little vino. It's going to be really good. First Yankee game at the new stadium on Monday when the Rays are there. Maybe I'll call in from wherever we're sitting, which, by the way, was the Delta Club. Now we had our Delta seats canceled, so maybe we should sit somewhere else.
Over under 2.5 bombs in the New York in the game, the Yankee game. You think?
Over.
Yeah, over.
I'm going over. Day game. Yeah, I'm going over.
Now, will y'all ride the subway into the game?
I feel like this is the only way to go.
Yeah.
Take the one train. That's my father's asked. How are we going to get it to Yankee Stadium? Well, I've heard there's this thing called the subway in New York. Hey, he's a native New Yorker. He should have known that. He took the one train to Yankee games as a kid. He can do it at the age of 76 too. Perfect. And we'll show the boy the.
Are you going to make the premiere though?
The monuments. Which premiere? Oh, the movie
for your
premiere.
father.
That's tomorrow night. Yeah, that's the whole point.
The travel. So you're good still on that? Okay.
That's the whole reason we're not at the Hall of Fame induction weekend this weekend is for the movie premiere. So, hey, I went clothing shopping for this. Like if I am actually going and buying non-Razorback clothing that has nothing to do with sports whatsoever. There are no team names on any of the things I bought the other day. If I actually went clothing shopping for this, you bet your bottom dollar I'm showing up for this thing. I would drive there tonight just to show up. I spent money for these clothes. Got to at least show out for it. Well, if you missed anything today, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be ready to go thanks to C-Movie. Don't fall asleep in the second half of Fight Club, Christian, okay?
Don't worry, it's the weekend. Let's turn up.
Yeah, that's the attitude I like.
I never
right
know
there.
if I can believe what
Yeah.
he says. If he's feeling, you don't. Do you get fired up about anything like that? What do you think a fired up C unit sounds like, Matt?
Like that right there.
Like that right there.
That's it. That's our guy right there.
I try not to get too fired up.
Was that his 11 or was that his 9 out of 10?
I've heard him say, "Let's get it." I've heard him say that one too.
I've heard him say that as well. Yeah. All right. Well, I got a few things to throw in a bag and then get to the airport a little quicker than I expected today. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Matt has you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I'll be back with you guys on Thursday. So for Matt Jones, for C. Brooks back there in our studios at ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, I'm Phil. Appreciate